Hi, this is Stephen Paletti, and I'm here with Stephen Moore, the founder and director of the Pacific Repertory Theater. And we're standing in front of the Golden Bough Theater, which originally, as I understand it, was a movie theater. Stephen, give us a little history, if you will.
All right. Well, it was a movie theater directly before us, but if you go back to, 1907, this site was the first site of the Arts and Crafts Clubhouse. And that was on the lower part, down where the Circle Theater is now, and we can maybe show you that later. But that was 1907. And then in 1922, they built a big hall up here on the Monteverdi Street side, which is sort of like the building that you see here today. And that was built around 1922, 1923. And it was a 300-seat theater for a town that maybe had, 300 or 400 people in it at that time. And in 1935, there was the original Golden Bough was located up on Ocean Avenue, right at the end of Monteverdi, at the corner of Monteverdi and Ocean. And in 1935, that Golden Bough burned down after a production of a play called By Candlelight under very mysterious circumstances. So by that point, the owner of the Golden Bough, Ted Custer, he also owned this building. So in 1935, after the fire, he just moved everything lock, stock, and barrel down here and reopened this as the Golden Bough Playhouse around 1935. And then from then on until about 1949, they did plays and movies and musicals and you name it, community events. And then, in 1949, the original cast of By Candlelight approached Mr. Custer and said, our first run got a little cut off early because of the fire. We're all getting older. Ted, can we get together and do the show while we're still able? And he's like, okay, I'm in. So in May of 1949, they remount By Candlelight here at the second Golden Bough Playhouse. And the following weekend, just like before, the building burned to the ground. So we won't be doing By Candlelight here ever. So this present building was then rebuilt in 1952. And this is the building we're looking at today. And so it's, almost 70, 80 years old, and all of the systems are pretty much falling apart. We've got authentic 80-year-old electric wiring and plumbing, et cetera, that is kind of falling apart. And we'd like to bring the building into the modern era in terms of the inside of the auditorium. Right now, it was presently set up movie theater style with a lower rake to the auditorium, because you were looking up at a movie screen. We want to build the auditorium up and circle the stage with it, so everybody's got a great view and a great sight line, and it becomes a real legitimate stage house rather than a converted movie house. So that's the quick history of how we got where we are today. And I think we're going to probably take you inside and maybe walk around the building and show you what we've got going on so far. We're sort of at the beginning of the last phase of the project, which is the actual construction.
And here is the front of the building. And as you might suspect, we are in the middle of a residential district in downtown Carmel.
All right, you ready to go inside?
Yes, we're ready to come inside.
Okay, all right, so we're in the lobby. We actually did a phase one of this remodel back in 2011-12. So, and in between, we've done a little bit of upgrading. So we started over here with the new box office, and we added an extended box office with a glass wall, and as a kind of hint of what the rest of the building on the inside of the lobby is going to look like. It's not going to be all glass block, but it's going to all be updated and painted and redone. And we'll have donor plaques and a video screen for what's going on in the auditorium, and additional facilities out here. But what's really cool is that right now we've got a lobby for about 150 people in a 300-seat theater. So we're going to extend the lobby. And we're going to extend the lobby another 20 feet by 50 feet wide into this space that is ultimately underneath the last 8 rows of the new auditorium. So come on in and we'll get a kind of look. We'll let that camera kind of adjust, and you can sweep. This is the auditorium. For those of you that have been here before, I'm sure your jaws are dropping, because that's a big giant hole that we've dug where the auditorium used to be. And you can see at the far end, where the curtain is and where we've got some plastic hanging. That's the stage, and we remodeled the stage in phase 1. So now in phase 2, it's all about all the public areas. So in this area here, this giant hole that we've dug down, the far half is going to be a basement. That will be a multi-purpose area for us to use that's going to be in between the Circle Theater and the main theater. And then the second half, closest where we are now, 4 steps down with a glass block kind of curved entrance will take you down into an extended lobby, what we're calling right now the stadium lobby. And that will actually be named after Virginia and Robert Stanton. They've been giving gifts over the years since phase 1, and we'll be naming the new inner lobby after the Virginia and Robert Stanton Fund at the Community Foundation for Monterey County. So, lots of naming opportunities available here. That's a hint for all you listeners. So we'll have another lobby that's in here, additional restrooms, and then the present restrooms. Everything's being upgraded. As you can see, the walls are gone. Well, we've broken everything down to the studs so that we can upgrade the men's and women's restroom areas and this entry hallway and all the way into the new theater. When we build the new theater, it will be a bowl shape. So it will wrap around our curved stage from one side to the other, not all the way around, from one side to the other. So it'll be a half a circle going around, and it'll be raised up in a bowl, going all the way up another 16 feet higher than it used to, and then wrapping around so that we've got box seats on the walls and gallery seating, and then it sweeps all the way down to the front of the stage. So it's going to be a really, really cool, intimate location where the audience feels like they're part of the action. With the audience extending around the stage somewhat, you become in the room with the actors rather than watching the actors in another room, which is sort of the old style of theater, right?
So we got some stairs here. Where does this go?
All right, so we're going to go up to the lighting booth. Well, we're going to go up to a room that's been completely demolished. So come on up. And I will rephrase that. We're going up to the future lighting booth and some of our administrative offices. As with most buildings in Carmel, we're a little tight in terms of area space. So this room that we're in becomes really the brain of the theater, especially during shows, but as well during the daytime. During the daytime, it's our production office. So we have development, marketing, 3 employees and a giant copy machine working in this little room. And then in the evening, it's the light booth. So this wall is all glass. And the operators are here, and the follow spot operators are on either side, and we're running the show from here. What's really cool is that we're going to have a brand new lighting booth. New curved glass wall, new consoles with all the equipment all arranged and purchased so everything fits. So it's really going to be an excellent working space for the stage manager and the crew to run a show from. So we're pretty excited. Of course, we have a bird's eye view from up here. This won't be here, of course, but they look down on the auditorium and on the stage and control everything from this little spot up here at the top of the theater.
Cool. For those people who want to support the theater, is there anything they can do?
Absolutely. No, we've got all the money we need and everything's good. No, absolutely. The pandemic doubled the price of this project like every project around. So we are busy raising funds. We've got a seat naming campaign. You can put your name on a seat. You can put your name on a tile. You can put your name on a paver. And if you're really ambitious, you can put your name on a building or a big room in the theater. So we've had gifts ranging from $250 for one of our little tiles in the lobby on the floor, up to our largest gift is $2.4 million to name the interior of the theater. The new Golden Bough Theater will now be called the Founders Theater. Accepting donations, you can contact PACREP at pacrep.org. You can give us a call at 622-0700. Easy to remember. You can drop by and look at literature. And in the meantime, we are based at the Forest Theater. So we've got the management of the Forest Theater on our hands right now. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff playing at the Forest Theater through the end of the year, and we'll be marketing next year. And that's where our administrative offices are for the next year while we're remodeling the building. So come on over to the Forest Theater, drop by and see us, look online for us, and if you have any trouble finding us, ask Steve Paletti.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.